Amani Channel, the video fearless dude and your neighborhood friendly video producer, helps individuals tell stories, help increase their impact, influence, authority, and create sales for their business. So this is going to be kind of a free thinking type of video. And I was going back to my college days when I was first studying broadcasting, and I used to wonder, like, wow, television is so powerful. Why doesn't the TV industry do more to really provide information that really helps people? Because when I was growing up, like, the news always covered my city whenever there was crime, violence, and I was thinking, there's other stories that were always overlooked and missed. By telling some of these stories that are overlooked and missed, you could really help inspire folks, provide some real value, provide some real education, that sort of thing. And then the more I understood the TV industry over the years, and now looking back, of course, I understand that the television industry and the media industry is not necessarily here to serve the people's best interests. And what I mean by that? Well, because at the end of the day, the media operates by serving commercials and by serving their advertisers. And so if you don't understand that, just know that whenever you watch the news, it's the commercials that are paying the salaries of the anchors, that are paying the cameramen, that are paying the operations of the station. And so though, like when a hurricane hits, when there's some sort of breaking news that's affecting the masses, yes, it's important to inform the public in general. The reason why news is covered the way it is because they know what triggers people to watch. And by covering the kind of stories that people watch, they're able to sell their ads because people are watching the commercials during the breaks. All right, that's just how it works. That's why I was so excited, like in 2005, 2006, when YouTube came on the scene, when social media started becoming a part of our culture. They called it Web 2.0 back then. I felt very empowered to tell my own stories because when I worked as a news reporter, there's some stories that I wasn't able to tell because producers, news directors, they didn't find those stories to be newsworthy. So they have you chase the ambulances or the fire trucks. And that's all good and fine. But, sometimes, the convenience store robbery or the house fire, it only does so much good, right? If it's encouraging people to get smoke detectors, that's one thing. If it's just telling the story of death and destruction because that's what people will watch, because that's what people are conditioned to watch, that's another thing. And I'm not here to criticize the news business in any way. Like, I have worked in the media. I work for the mainstream media. I'm just saying that social media provides another avenue for the general masses to share their stories. And that's why I felt so empowered back then when social media was very new to tell stories that I want to tell, to create stories that I want to create. And now, we've seen the media continue. Social media is now mainstream. You have people with successful YouTube channels. You have people who are educating, who are serving audiences, who are helping others by sharing content. And I feel like that's really the core of humanity. And that's the core of our nature, is to serve others. And so if you have a story that you've been waiting to tell, or that your story can inspire others or it can help someone else. I have this sort of saying that I've said to myself over the years. If I can use video to reach one person and touch one person who sees a video and I'm talking about through online media, and I'm able to reach just one person, that's one person that I wasn't able to reach without the technology. And so that's really a benefit, right? That's really a plus. And so just think about it that way, right? Yes, we want our videos to go viral. We want our videos to reach the masses and for everyone to share it. But really, you only need to reach one right person who can either become a client or who can really change their lives, or a student who can really learn from you, etc. Whether you're mentoring, whether you're educating, or whether you're just attracting clients. If you have a service that's really benefiting people, video can be used to really serve that audience. So just think about using video in that kind of way. That's really why I love social video. That's why I love, even though social media is mainstream, and in some ways, social media is being censored now. Like, we've seen people get canceled because their views don't align with the certain narratives, and we've seen that happen. But in general, you're free to create content, you're free to share your stories, and you're free to inspire. And I just want to encourage you to go do so. Even if you're a little bit concerned that you might not look as professional, or you might not like the way you sound, or you might not like the way you look. that really doesn't matter as much as the story that you need to get out there on video. All right, so if you need help, I'm here to help guide you down the path, but just tell stories. At the end of the day, that's how people relate, that's how we communicate, and this is a very powerful medium that should not be underestimated. All right, just want to get that off my chest. Tell stories. Amani Channel. Peace.